Hi everybody, it's Kara. I wanted to do a quick video today about art journals. I have been playing around a little bit with some paints and things like that, but I don't really consider it art journaling at this stage. It was more just me getting familiar with some paints and other mediums that I hadn't really used. But when I was playing around with it, I was using this particular book. It's a mixed media Canson book. It's 7 inches by 10 inches. It's a good size. The paper's pretty thick. And I really liked it, but I'm not going to keep using it for an art journal, and I'm going to tell you why here in just a minute. If you're like me and you've been watching a ton of YouTube videos, you may have seen that there are lots and lots of incredibly creative, talented artists out there doing art journals. And I've been kind of intimidated by the whole process. It's part of the reason I haven't really shared any of my pages, but I've decided that with the new year just around the corner, I need to get over that. And I thought the first thing I could do would be to go over how I picked the new journal I'm going to start using. And I just want to be clear at the very beginning, this is just my personal opinion based on videos I've seen and all that good stuff. You can have a totally other opinion. You can use a different book. I'm just going to go through why I chose to use what I'm going to start using. So you can pick up one of these kind. These are great books to start off with. You can get these at Michael's for, I don't know, $5 to $6 when they're on sale. They do come in different sizes, and they're very, very easy to use. The thing about these that doesn't work for me is the spiral binding. And the only reason it doesn't work is because I tend to be very, very OCD, a bit of a perfectionist about what I do, which is going to be difficult in art journaling to get over. But this particular type of book allows me to just rip out any page I'm not pleased with and throw it away. And believe me, I've done it. Super easy to do, and that's not what I want. I want to have an art journal that shows the entire process I went through, hopefully shows how I got better at doing things, how I improved techniques, all that good stuff. And this kind of book, it's just not going to happen because I'm going to throw the pages away. So I am just not going to be able to use this. And because of that, I started looking around for what everybody else was using to get some other ideas. Some people who I think are a little bit more experienced have created homemade art journals, and that way they can pick whatever kind of paper they want to use, and that's always a great idea if you're good at the whole book binding thing. So that's an option. And you can also alter books, existing books if you want to, which I plan to do down the road, but just not quite yet. So the other options are, for example, just using a composition notebook. If you don't want to spend a ton of money, if you're not sure you're going to like it, you can use one of these. The downside to this is that the paper is very, very thin. You're going to have to more than likely adhere 2 or 3 pages together if you plan on using wet medium in this particular journal, because the pages are so thin they're not going to hold up to much. You'll probably also have to gesso the pages, which I'll talk to you about in another video. And you have to keep in mind that as you use any kind of wet medium, like the glue, like the paint, all that good stuff, then this little book that looks like this now is eventually going to expand because the pages will get wet, they'll crinkle a little bit, and all that good stuff. So you need to keep that in mind. The good thing about this is it's very inexpensive. You can alter the covers, and if you're not 100% sure what you want to do, you can try one of these. This would also be great if you know you're not going to use a lot of wet medium. If you're going to do more doodling, more drawing, more actual journaling, etc., this would be a good one for you, and it wouldn't be very expensive. So that's one option. I also purchased the new creative journal by Diane Reevley through Ranger, which is a wonderful looking journal. I love the way this looks. I love this hard craft cover because it's going to be great for altering down the road. And it has 64 white, matte, and manila cardstock unlined pages. So if you look at this thing, look at that. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, oh, maybe a little bit, the 2 different colors in there. So you have 2 different options. Let me open this thing up. You have the elastic closure, and then inside You have a pocket on the cover, and then these huge, wonderful pages, which do, if you notice, lie flat. So it'd be very, very easy to create, you know, two journaling pages together if you wanted them to kind of coordinate. Now, the thing that puts me off this journal right now is basically just its size, because I'm so new to journaling, art journaling, that this thing is way too intimidating for me. It is, the pages are 11 3/8 by 8 1/4. So I'm going to hang on to this journal, and I'm going to use it down the road when I'm a little bit more confident in my skills in art journaling. So another one that a lot of people like to use were the Moleskine. This one is a watercolor Moleskine. It has the elastic cover. I believe it is the large. Oh, let me say one thing. This one, by the way, ranges 16 to 22 depending on where you get it. You might see it on sale someplace else, but that's around about the average price. So it's a little bit more expensive than the rest so far. This Moleskine one I got at Barnes & Noble, and I basically got two during the Cyber Monday sale, so I got 50% off one. I've seen these on Amazon for around $13. The thing about this watercolor one is it opens this way. So it's a much longer page. So it just depends on if you're going to like something like that. The paper in here is much thicker because it's watercolor paper. It's going to hold up to a lot more wet medium. Keep in mind, oops, sorry for the camera, this one is also bound, and it's going to expand somewhat as you go, especially if you add collage material and things like that. So again, just depends on what you want to do with it. The other one that I have is also a Moleskine one, and it is the Sketch. And it is the same size as the watercolor one, just turned in a different direction. They are 5 inches by 8 1/4 inches. The paper in here, again, is for sketching. So it's thinner than the watercolor, but still, you know, somewhat thick. Hopefully you can see that. It's manila in color, so it's not a true white, but it's a good size for me. I like the size of this one. So this is going to be the journal I start with. I've heard good and bad about this, so we're going to find out together how it works. I am going to, for the pages that I want to put a lot of medium on, I'm going to gesso them first, and we'll talk about that, like I said, down the road. But I think this one will hold up pretty good for my first try. It's also not easy to tear the papers out. I mean, I could, but you know, if I get the rough edge or something, that would just kick my OCD into overdrive, so I won't be doing that. And hopefully this one will work out really, really well, and I'll have lots of fun pages to share with you guys over time. So I hope this helped. It gives you an idea of, you know, some options for journals. If you have any questions, let me know. My plan for these art journal videos is to talk about products that I'm using, if I like them or not, and also just to share some of the journaling pages with you and maybe do some techniques. We'll kind of play that by ear. In addition to all that, over at Craft Happens, the site that I help run with some of my other crafty friends, in addition to doing swaps over there, I'm going to be opening an art journal group. And basically, that group is going to be there to talk about art journaling, to share techniques, to share reviews of products, to maybe do some challenges and some swaps down the road, and just in general have a good time creating something that has basically no rules. It just is all about what you want to do. So if you're interested in that, come on over to Craft Happens and join us there. The group should be going up within the next, hopefully, few days. And then our first challenge or swap will be in January. I'm just trying to decide what I want to start off with. Hopefully, if you decide to join us, this gives you enough time and enough information to pick your first journal, and then we can all get started together. So, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and as always, I hope you're having a great day wherever you're at. Bye, guys.